Hey everybody. So this is going to be something different. I'm using a different mic today. I am currently just sitting outside, and of course there's a black cat accompanying me in this moment, and that is quite wonderful. But yeah, things have been much of a transition. We're currently not living in the car. We are just really staying with trusted peoples. And honestly, that is very fortunate for me. Something that was absolutely a blessing that came in right at when I needed it. But also, it was something that I just wasn't expecting for it to really happen the way that it happened. I still have many different plans and goals of what do I want to do for myself, where do I want to go, how I envision my future in my life at this moment. But I do want to have a little chit chat. This is not necessarily a podcast episode, but it's more of like, more so of a, what would you call it? I guess a channeled message, just for anybody who's, going through anything similar, who understands me. Um, but yeah, the moral of the story is I have been honestly struggling with change. Change is something that is not necessarily easy for really anybody, of course, but it's something that is necessary, extremely necessary for people to be able to grow, to develop, to just dream properly. And there's a thing that happens when you envision the life that you aspire to have, you envision the life that you want, but the things that you are currently surrounded by don't represent or reflect your future self or your future life. And I had a few conversations with some people about things of these natures. And a lot of times, if you pay attention and also if you're a very sensitive individual, you'll be able to pick up very easily on where someone is at depending on their answer to a question. And it's also a really big thing, especially if you're someone who is, you would say, higher, or not higher, but more developed or further in your spiritual path than somebody else's. Something that you may run into a lot is not being able to really have conversations that are very important to you because they aren't important to somebody else. This can be like a really big lesson on, like, someone else can only care about something so much as long as they also care about it for themselves in their own way and in their own life. And if that is not being reflected, or if that's not being something that's being done, then you cannot expect that person to really perform or to exemplify, or I guess make the actions that you would take in the position. If you were in that position, you cannot expect somebody else to do the same. And at that point, you have to really think whether or not you choose to stay alongside this person, because that can also lead to you feeling drained, you feeling powerless, you feeling tired, fatigued, stressed, angry, unmotivated, undisciplined, not consistent with yourself, not taking care of yourself, not treating yourself with kindness and the utmost self respect compared to how you treat others. It's something that is very difficult to deal with, especially if you create a connection with somebody and it's one that you wanted it to be hopeful. But sometimes, my bad, there are ants all over my legs. That is not very fun. But yeah, just understanding that sometimes people are just not going to be where you want them to be right now. And I think that it will be a little realistic for you to expect or have someone or want someone to be a certain part of their lives that they are not ready for yet. Because honestly, that can be worse. That could be more abuse than actually just leaving them where they're at. Leaving them with love, as a lot of people would say, and a lot of things that I've done for other people is leave them with love, because the more that you try to spend time in somebody else's life and trying to help them or trying to bring things to their vision or trying to warn them, as we all would do, because that's a part of our purpose for being on this earth, is being a presence to show people about the potential or the ability to be something that they would have never thought that they could be. But we're all mirrors. We're all capable of the same things if we truly fix our perception and reframe our reality to reflect that. So it's just something that is just not necessarily easy to deal with, but it's not for you to deal with. It's not your stress to carry, it's not your responsibility to carry. And whenever you feel like you're getting too far into enveloping yourself into another individual or their life or their routines or whatever it is that they're struggling with, or things or parts of yourself that you left behind a while ago, but there's constant reminders, every time you elevate, there's higher attacks that are going to come in and trying to throw you off inherently, indirectly, sometimes directly, depending on how ballsy they are. But I feel like there's bugs on me. Um, but yeah, this message is not really so positive. It's more so heavy. I'm feeling heavy. I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling kind of just in a limbo state of mind. I'm mostly trying to, raise my vibration myself, take care of myself, redirect all the energy that I had put towards, survival and trying to get myself together while I was living in my car, because that's obviously not a safe situation to be in, and I never deserved to be in that situation. That it's really difficult to kind of like readjust again. But that is also another part of reframing your reality or your perspective on things, because as much as it is easy to reframe the way that you view change or view problems, or you know something isn't truly something isn't truly consistent, or a habit that is able to be preserved, if you're not able to do it even when things change, even when things like absolutely go out the rear end, like just go to absolute poop. Because if you are not able to, I guess, implicate these routines and things like that for yourself, even during high amounts of stress and certain things like that, then those are habits that are probably not serving you any good, that are not going to be sustainable, is what the word I was looking for. Um, and that's when you really have to look deep into yourself, into your life, and like just really reflect about what it is that truly matters to you. What do you want for your life? What do you desire for your future? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? How do you want to feel? Not necessarily having expectations, but having that feeling that always follows you, because the feeling of home is the only one that you really need, especially if you are in a situation of not being where you want to be, but always remembering and knowing that home is within you, so that you can find that really everywhere and anywhere. And you always tap back into it whenever you are confused, lost, unsure, feeling the chaos, feeling everything just go in 10 different directions. But honestly, I want you to know that you're going to be okay, that you are going to make it through, that you are going to persevere more than you ever have before in this moment, because this is the time where you already know. You've already been through these changes such as these, so it's not going to be as difficult, or you could say um as I wouldn't say traumatic, but we could probably say triggering, or giving you whiplash in the same way as it used to practice presence, practice gratitude, practice meditation and stillness, practice presentness, being present, being here, because we all need to be here in this moment. Nothing is more important than what's going on right now and right here, and what you can do to help yourself to control what you can control. And honestly, I did what I can control, so I am taking every single day, literally, day by day, building myself up again, doing things that I love to do, pouring into myself the way that I used to, because even if nobody else is doing it, babes, doesn't mean that you shouldn't. Doesn't mean that it's not for you, doesn't mean that it is something that you should just pass over. Don't get so caught up into what's going on around you that you forget how to take care of yourself, how to recenter yourself, how to come back home to you. I'm also sweating out here, y'all, because this sun is absolutely beaming on me. I'm also just at this abandoned house. I'm just really chilling right now. It's really beautiful out here, though. 11:11 on my clock. But yeah, it's absolutely beaming. I'm gonna put y'all over here. But yeah, so just remember, and this one's gonna be a little bit short today. Just remember, wherever you're at, take heed on your life. Grab the control over your own life again. Don't let it slip away. Because I know that we have let it slip away in the past, but we are no longer in that period or in that phase of life anymore. We don't have to be like that. And when it comes to, choosing between a familiar future or yeah, a familiar future or an unknown one, what path do you want to take? It will be very easy to slip into that familiar future. And it's exactly at that moment is when you have to stop, literally stop yourself if you get caught up in again, because it is okay if you get caught up in the old habits and you get caught back into the old loops and old versions of self and old patterns. I understand you completely because it's a part of the process. But know that you don't have to stay in it. Know that you don't have to identify with it. Know that it's not you. It's the old you still holding on, that is still slowly passing little by little, so that this new self can truly grow and develop and blossom the way that you've always meant to. You were always meant to do. And who you're always meant to become. Oh my, these bugs. Bugs can be significant. The color orange, the color green. Shoot, I've been really hoping for some moolah. So I'm staying in high hopes for that. Money is coming, y'all. I feel like I be hearing that a lot in different messages when I, do my own browsing or when I get my own channels and things like that. But travel is also significant. The color blue, color or the numbers 1111, 333, 1010, 222, 111, and bees. Bees, ladybugs, cats, dogs. Um, Also, I don't know if anyone is like feeling sick or feeling nauseous. There was like something on my along my walk. There was literally like this dude like expelling liquids out of his mouth, and I was kind of concerned. Um, but if anyone is feeling sick or anything, shoot, you already know what that is. A time for rest, a time to let yourself truly integrate into this next phase, to relax. Because if you know me and I know you, and if you are in my position, you know that it's really important for you to rest right now, for you to take care of yourself, for you to make yourself happy, for you to take your joy, take your time, take your sense of self and respect very seriously, because don't let nobody play with you, okay? If you don't know who you are, you do. You do. Stop acting like you don't, okay? because you just need a reminder. You just need a reminder, Bookie. That's okay. Look, just because nobody's going to be reminding you about it or telling you or putting it in your face that it's obvious, like that you are the shit. And sometimes that may even mean that you are ahead of others. And that doesn't mean that you're superior. It doesn't mean that you are better in a hierarchy or some bull. You're not. You are doing the work. That's why you are able to say, yes, I am more capable at doing certain things than others. I am stronger. I am braver, whatever it is. Because it's the truth backed by facts, which is a fact. You get it. Okay, you get it, you get it. You gotta come with me in this message because it's really hot out here, so I'm kind of like boiling, but I'm going to leave y'all with that, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next message. And yeah, because honestly, right now I had to like work on a lot of films and uploading and editing type stuff like that. So it's been a while for me to upload, but I really wanted to get something out for you guys while I was, feeling more upbeat, feeling more revitalized, feeling inspired, feeling motivated. And I just wanted to talk to you guys for a little bit. But I'm sending you so much of my love, and I hope you guys have a beautiful and wonderful afternoon, morning, night, wherever you are at. Remember to be kind to yourself, respect yourself, take care of yourself, okay? And do what you can, little by little, to get even closer to the version of yourself that you know you are always meant to become. Because it already is, and it's already here. So all you got to do is just walk it. Remember that. Just walk it, embody it, believe it, believe yourself, because it's all true. I love you, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.